guys, look at my kitchen. Another big exciting day in my kitchen. I'll tell you one of the best things to do on a Sunday with your family, make gnocchis. Anybody having a gnocchi craving right now? I'm gonna take gnocchis and send it up to about 6 levels higher. When I was in Italy, old Italy, a number of years ago, for the first time, I had gnocchi al forno. Gnocchi al forno. And what that is basically a baked gnocchi with formaggio, with cheese. Oh, absolutely delicious. So I want to show you how to make a gnocchi, a simple gnocchi recipe. What I want to add to that is that other twist of adding cheeses and baking it. So guys, what we're going to do is we're going to make a real simple gnocchi recipe. Gnocchi is actually an Italian word, or comes from gnocchio, which actually means knot, or knot in wood. So it kind of looks like a knot, kind of cool. All right, so let's go over ingredients. We're going to start with about a little over a pound of potatoes. So it's about 3 decent size potatoes. Really, any potato is going to work. You want a nice starch content. These are an Idaho potato, so obviously I'm not in Italy right now, so we're going to head to Idaho for potatoes today. Next, we're going to use flour. Now, I always like a pastry flour. I like unenriched and non-bleached. So we're going to use about 1/2 cup of flour. I have the rest of this, I got 1 3/4 cup, because we're going to use some of that as we roll it out. We've got 2 eggs. Again, I always try to go with free range eggs. Now we're going to use 1 whole egg in the yolk of another egg. We're certainly going to need to add some salt and pepper. As you guys know that watch our show, we're going to use pink Himalayan because it's sexy. When possible, always try to use fresh ground. Why? Because once you grind it, it'll dry out the oils and it doesn't taste as good. Secret little ingredient for gnocchis is a pinch of nutmeg. So nutmeg is so, it's earthy, and it's really great with savory, and it's great with sweet, dolce. We're gonna need some olive oil. So in olive oil, it's an Italian dish. So we're gonna want Italian olive oil, extra virgin ideally, because you wanna really bring in that robust flavor of the olive. We want some earthy, grassy, peppery, authentic extra virgin. I don't know where I'd go with that. Let me think. Oh, I know. Hey, Vito and Joe's. For anybody new to our channel, we have a farm in Italy that we own, and it's in Puglia, Italy, just above the heel. We make our own olive oil. And if you go to the link in the description above or below, or you can go to our Facebook page or Vito and Joe's and just click buy it now, we'll actually drop ship you a bottle right to your front doorstep, so just with the push of a thumb. And I like to call it a trip to Italy right in a bottle. So that's the ingredients for the gnocchi. Now I want to do that al forno formaggio. I want to add the cheeses. So you can pretty much add any cheese you want. Number 1, I want to have some pecorino romano. Pecorino is made from sheep's milk. Oh, it's so good. It's sharp, and it's got that fermenty tang to it. It's a little bit saltier. Oh, so delicious. Next, king of cheeses is going to be your Parmesan Reggiano, and that's going to be creamier. So that's not as much tang, not as much salt, a lot of creamy flavor, and it's smooth and it's tangy, and the real Parmesan Reggiano is going to have those little crunches of crystallized salt and cheese. Oh, that is good. And guys, last but most important right there is a Fontina cheese. Fontina is smooth and creamy, and it's got a little bit of a tang, but it's gooey. This is going to create that binding for the other cheeses when it mixes in with the gnocchis. All right, so let's get going. First and foremost, we got to cook those potatoes. Guys, I'm prepping the potatoes for my gnocchi recipe. I like to bake them, and I'll tell you why. I don't want to add any moisture that's unnecessary to the potato. I find that if I chop them and boil them, it just adds too much water in my opinion. So I'm going to grab a piece of paper towel, and then I want to prep the potatoes for the oven. I'm going to put the oven at about 350, 375 degrees, and you're looking at approximately about an hour to bake the potatoes. First, I'm just going to put about 6 pops in the potato with a fork, and what you're trying to do there is you're trying to let steam escape. There's a lot of moisture in a potato. Next, I'm going to take some Vito and Joe's, obviously olive oil, and I'm going to use just a little sprinkle over the top of the potato. And that's why I got that paper towel, so we're not making a mess. So you're probably asking why you're doing that. Because if I wipe them in olive oil, what it does is it crisps up the skin a little bit, because we have to peel the potatoes, and it'll make it a lot easier. And I'm going to put them on the middle rack in the oven. Guys, it's been an hour. Potatoes are done. Whew! Hot potato, hot potato. So you're gonna take a knife, you're gonna take the potato, and then just find a spot. You'll find a spot like right here. See how the skin is getting loose right there? And just take that knife, come up underneath, and that'll be your kind of open spot. And the rest of this will actually peel off real easy. Guys, our potatoes are done. So first thing I wanna do is just cut these up maybe in 4s so they fit in my ricer. Then I'm gonna take my ricer, I'm gonna go ahead and put a pile right here for my gnocchi. So I like to put 1, maybe 2 small pieces. Don't overload your ricer, and then just give it a nice slow squeeze, and you're gonna see how nice and light and airy that is? That's exactly what you want. I'm gonna make a well here, 1 whole egg in the yolk of another egg, just the yolk. We're gonna use some pink Himalayan. So I'm gonna use a heavy pinch of pink Himalayan, you know, because it's sexy, right? I'm gonna take some fresh ground pepper, just a crank or 2. Anybody that's a fan of our show, you know nutmeg is one of my favorite little secret ingredients. So again, just use a little bit of a breath. I need to add a splash of the world's greatest olive oil. So just a little teaspoon maybe. And before I add my flour, I want to get all those ingredients mixed up really well right inside there. And then what I want to do is just incorporate a little bit of the potato. So I don't want to push down on the fork. I want to keep everything nice and light, or you're defeating the whole purpose of using your ricer. And do this for a minute until you get everything covered with that egg mixture. I'm gonna go ahead and just create another well again. And now I'm gonna bring my flour. Now, we're not gonna use more than a half a cup of flour here, so I'm just gonna fork in a little bit of the flour. And then what I do here is I bring it in with the fork, and what you're trying to do is create a dough that's binding and a little bit on the sticky side. That's about it. And what I like to do with the fork here is get everything in there, just like I did with the egg mixture. Get everything so you know it's dusted with a little bit of flour. I'm gonna take my baker scraper here, and now I'm gonna use my hands here. And again, I don't wanna use my hands very long, and I wanna make sure it's gonna bind. See how perfect that is? That's gonna bind in. So I don't wanna do a lot of kneading here because I want it to stay really light. Okay guys, we're basically done, and now we gotta start having some fun. We're gonna start making some gnocchi. So the first thing I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna cut this right in half, and then I'm gonna cut this in half, and then I'm gonna cut this last one in half. And then what I'm gonna do is roll this out, just a touch of flour, so nothing gets too sticky here. Okay guys, now we're about a 1/2 inch. That's exactly what I want, perfect diameter. And next what we're gonna do is we're gonna wanna cut these up into pieces, right? So I'm gonna go about a 1/2 inch. You can use the baker's scraper, you can use a knife, whatever you wanna use. Perfect. Now guys, it's time to put that traditional groove in there, right? So remember we talked about either a gnocchi board or you're gonna use the fork. So in this case, I'll start one with the gnocchi board. I'll just show you how to do it. So I hold the gnocchi board in my left hand, and then I'm going to put a thumb, and I go about 1/3 of the way to 1/2 of the way up on the board, and I'm going to push down on the gnocchi, and it's going to roll across the board, and then it'll just fall off. And in that case, what you're doing, you're going to see a folding on the backside of the gnocchi, right? And then you got those beautiful grooves. Another way to do it, again, when Grandma didn't have enough gnocchi boards for the grandkids, so now I'm going to take the gnocchi, the same thing, and I like to use the fork. I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to use my thumb and roll it across the fork. And here you're going to see it's got a different set of grooves. Guys, I got a lot of gnocchis to make, so I'm going to go ahead and start pounding these out. I got a nice little drying rack. That's always nice. You can leave them right on the table. You can put them on a plate if you want to use a piece of parchment so they don't stick. Okay, welcome back. It's been 16 hours. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, how you doing, huh? Doesn't that look beautiful, right? How much fun is that? One of the things I love about making gnocchis is it's so Italiano, you know, because you want to use your hands in order to make something. And anytime you make a gnocchi by yourself, like it always tastes better. So anytime you make something with your own hands, with your own love, it's always going to taste better. So I've got 2 racks going here of gnocchis. I've got my water boiling or almost ready to boil and salted, right? I've got a bowl off to the side. I'm going to need some type of like a straining spoon to pull them out. Guys, this couldn't be easier. Your gnocchis are done once they float to the top, which is like minutes. And then what I want to do is I want to put just a light splash of olive oil in here, Vito and Joe's obviously, so nothing sticks when I pop it in that dish. How easy is that, guys? So look, see how they're already done? Isn't that beautiful? Perfect. And you could tell that. If you overcook them, they'll start to fall apart. So right there is what you want. You give it a nice strain, and then you're gonna put it in our dish with oil. So a little tip here, a little trick, is I wanna brown the gnocchi. A couple other things really important, a couple other tips to make this come out delicious. Number one, when you subscribe to the channel, so there's a red button right there, you gotta click that. Hey, anytime I've got any recipes coming out, any trips to Italy, anything with my blog, Blogging with Boreal, it'll come right to your notification box. And I'll tell you, it means a lot to me when you subscribe to the channel, and hey, makes you part of the family, you know what I'm saying? Secondly, olive oil, it's right there. You probably already hit the link, I don't even need to talk about it. I'm gonna take just a splash of olive oil, and now I want the heat in this, you know, not real high, but certainly a medium. And then once I got it in there, remember, I've got some olive oil in the gnocchis already. I'm gonna slide these right in there. Oh, that's what I wanna hear. Remember, be very gentle. We don't wanna break them up. But what we're looking for, ideally, is just a slight browning on each of the gnocchis. Guys, the gnocchis have been sauteed. They got just a little bit of brown caramelization, perfect. Now we gotta add our cheeses, and we got El Forno. We got to bake this puppy. So I'm going to get a cheese grater, and I want a bigger one. So 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup of each of my cheeses. So I got my Parmigiano Reggiano going right here. Next, I'm going to go with my Pecorino Romano. Last but not least, the magical ingredient is that Fontina cheese. Now I'm going to tell you, spread those cheeses out, and then real gently give it a stir. Now, guys, we got to top it off. So same thing. You're going to give it a good topping of the cheeses, because that's going to brown in the oven for you. Take your hand, give it a little bit of a mix on top, and then spread your cheese evenly across. So we're going to pop it in the oven, but traditionally when this is served, especially in Old Italy, like in Puglia, they're going to put it in a pizza oven, which is, you know, 800 or hotter degrees Fahrenheit. So what I want you to do is get that oven as hot as you can. The last few minutes of this, we're going to actually turn the broiler on, and you got to watch it real carefully. We want to create a nice brown, beautiful, crisp caramelization of the cheese. Guys, this will take about 15 minutes of bake time and about 2 to 3 minutes of the broiler. Guys, I just pulled out of the oven. The kitchen aroma is absolutely magnifico. So beautiful, so delicious. Oh, I mean, you could just smell the cheeses and the olive oil and the gnocchi, and so good. As always, guys, my favorite time, taste time. First off, how gorgeous is that? So I'm gonna pull this through. I'm just gonna use a fork. See the goo? Now that Fontina, see what I was telling you about that Fontina? How gooey it is? And then you got that crunch. Listen, you can just hear that nice little tap. That puppy's hot. The gnocchi itself is fantastic, and what's great is it's soft, it's still got that texture, that body to it, and then you immediately get the texture of the cheese on top, that crunch, and then you get, again, you get that salty, the Parmesan, that little ferment, the little sour from the Pecorino, the olive oil, and salt, the pepper, the potato from the gnocchi, so good. Just on the backdrop, that earthiness of the nutmeg. You got to have a white wine with this, you know, like a Pinot Grigio. Prosecco wouldn't go bad, but Prosecco goes with everything. You guys know that. Absolutely delicious, guys. Brings you right to the Adriatic. Smell the sea, the olive trees. Hey guys, thanks so much for joining me in our kitchen today. Remember now, there's a red button right there. Boom, click it, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel. Hey, make you part of the family. You know what I'm saying? And remember, the description above or below, click it, or you go right to our website, Cooking Italian with Joe. Grab yourself a bottle of Vito and Joe's olive oil. Truly a trip to Italy right in a bottle. And guys, as I always end my videos, probably the most important tip that I really hope comes through our videos is maybe once a week, you know, shut off the TV, the computer, certainly those cell phones. Get around the table with your family, make a mess, have some fun, celebrate your heritage, and most importantly, guys, set some traditions they'll last you a lifetime. I know they did for me. Hey, from my kitchen to yours, until next week, mwah, buon appetito.